Well, welcome back, my gardening friends. Well, one of the first jobs that we were tasked to do in March was get all the seeds sown. Now, these are some of those. We've still got a few trying. Where's that one? The German pink tomato there. It's that one's potting on. I haven't got too many of those. Even one of the beans in the middle of the screen there is trying to go. And there we have some of the brassicas that we haven't needed. And as they've germinated and showed a little bit of green, we've potted them up, and we're still getting the odd pepper germinating, and as they do, we pop them on. Let's have a little look in the grow room. There's my second place giant red cabbage. It's stored really well from September, guys, so it's now the end of March, so we'll be cutting that up and boxing it up. Here are the gloves, nicely washed, and they do fit me really well, even after washing. They've come up really well, and this is what we've got out of all those trays. So that's the grow room full, bar from one space. I usually leave one space open to pour the water onto the capillary mat in. And then we just move round. There's some of the beans from Danny from the grapevine allotment. Some of the giant tall sunflowers. I need to sort out the brassicas now. Pepper's going nice and steady. The perennial kale I took 2 cuttings of, and they look like they've taken. We move on to the lettuce, giant carrots, and the radish experiment. And we need to get those harvested now before they go over. And we've got the onions there. I've potted on all the giant carrots and some of the hanging basket transplants we did, cuttings, are flowering. They won't want to be outside. It's nice now, but we're expecting snow next week, towards the end of March. So there's some lettuce ready to go on, and the potatoes are going mad. And I've only just noticed, where are you? They're flowering, so it won't be long before we do a harvest of those. A reveal. Digwell Green Fingers, Steve's single seed potato challenge. We've got 6 there growing away. There's the New Zealand spinach. There's some of my giant beetroots, not as good as Ian's. Some Swiss chard there, and then some rainbow chard there, and the pak choi. And the geraniums are flowering again, and I think I may have been able to get one sweet pepper plant to overwinter. Right, let's go up to the allotment. So these were my jobs for March. So we start at the top, we sow the seeds, and then we work our way down. Pause it if you want to have a quick look, but basically I do my video, and then while we was at home we said we were going to cut the tanks for the giant potatoes. So let's have a look at those. So we did get both done. On the end screen you'll see the playlist for March, everything I did in March, so if you've missed anything that you would like to see, then why not pop back. But these are done. They have warped a little bit, but I think they'll be absolutely fine. And thank you to one of my viewers who suggested that I use my clay ball horrible mix that I don't like using in the bottom of those potato barrels, and then drill holes so far up so the clay balls hold the moisture so it doesn't get too wet. So thank you. As like I say, the comments are the most important thing in any videos that I watch or I make. So one of the jobs was to make sure we got this perennial kale. It was in the polytunnel, and I've put this leaning this plastic polycarbonate up it to help stop the pigeons having a go, and it's surprising how well it grows once it's in the ground. The field green manure beans were in the polytunnel. I did say that I was going to bury them, and I thought, now it's such a shame that they've survived the mice and everything, that we'll now plant them, grow them on, we'll eat a few and then save the rest for seed so we can use the green manure again. And I think that'll be a better idea, and it'll give the pollinators an extra bonus on my growing spaces. So we put the green manure that we trialled to good use. We also mentioned about getting the plastic in the polytunnel. That hasn't happened. I've got to have a serious look as to how I can do this. I know people have offered their assistance, but health and safety and logistic reasons, I'm going to do this myself with the help of Mrs. K. But I'm going to decide how I'm going to bring those pipes down, support them, then put the plastic over the top and work it like that. It's not just a case of put some poly sheeting over the top and fasten it down. I've got to make sure it's right and take my time. So during March we've been revealing lots of potatoes, and they've been quite nice to eat actually. And we still have a few pots left, some Charlotte there, some Sarpo Mira, and some unknown varieties. We don't mind, they all taste the same. And while we're in the polytunnel, some more seeds that we sowed for March. No show on that at the moment. All this. Oh no, actually we've got in the middle of the screen there, we've got one of the onions poking up, and this one. And I've just had a look back at the first one, the salad onions. Can't see nothing on there, but the Walla Walla onion from Marie Curry still doing okay. And we've got carrots now appearing there. A lot of these seeds were from Alan from the Dawn Chorus plot. Radishes, we've got the Jerusalem artichokes, and then these are all the potatoes. As I've harvested the potatoes, we've replanted them, so they're happy enough in there. During March we did a trial with some super soil. This side had the super soil, this didn't, and it's a job to keep everything watered, but the strawberries do look nice in here, and I'm expecting a nice early crop in this warm polytunnel. I bought some pak choi down here to plant at some stage. These are Marie Curry's crimson broad beans, a lovely flower. That was a late arrival but doing well. These are the condor that Frank sent me. Thank you, Frank. Sweet peas, I need to get those planted. And we move on to this is a second sowing of peas, pongos, etc. And these are, can't see the screen, another lot. These won't belong now. These are like the sugar snap varieties. Won't belong before we're planting those out. And these now are the giant beetroot, and a little bit concerned, that looks like it might be going to seed. It was always a worry growing them early on, but we'll have to wait and see. But that does look not brilliant, unfortunately. These are the long roots for the Malvern Autumn Show. They're all now full, and we also have the irrigation on there. Again, check out the March playlist and everything is in there if you're interested in any particular thing, but the watering system seems to be working really well. I've got it on for 1 minute every 6 hours at the moment, and there's hardly any water gone out of the barrel, but everything's still nice and moist. Seems such a long time ago since I took out the kale. And all the Brussels sprouts from here, and we got all the onions and the beetroots planted, so there'll be a companion plant for now. We'll see how those onions get on. Again, they were planted really, sown really early. Hopefully they'll be okay. And as you can see, the claret sprouting broccoli is sprouting nicely now, so I think we'll be having a nice crop off of that for this weekend. I did mention that I was going to try and empty the perennial potato bed. We've got potatoes under there. I think that's going to be something I need to do fairly soon in April, so that else they'll all be sprouting again. And I want all the pallet collars I've got, I'm just going to do single height along here, 2 rows, and I'm going to need all the soil I can get. We've got some of the soil in the middle of the screen there between the square foot gardening and the long bed, and there's the wood chips, so we can do a bit of a mix with the compost that we've got as well. And of course weeding is ongoing all the time, and I would rather pick the weeds while they're small. It does save a lot of time and effort. And I have just noticed, yum, first lot of asparagus. Must keep an eye on that. And there's more, and there's more. Just remember to keep harvesting this for 6 to 8 weeks, and that'll be it. We'll leave it to go to seed after that. Before we move on to the fruit cage, these shallots are doing nice. Hated the Nort shallots that one of my viewers sent me, and I do like to weed as I look. Good day. Some grizzly shallots here from Alan sent those. And any compost that's in my fingers as well goes into the paths, and that'll make good compost later on. There's some golden gourmet shallots there. They look like they're splitting really well. The Opria brood balls from Jason, and then some walking onions, all at different stages, probably different size bulbs, not sure, but that one looks nice. And then the elephant garlic, which I originally had off Mike Hurdis, so all those years ago. And the red Russian looks really good as well. Looks like they've enjoyed that bit of chicken manure I give them in March. Planted up the square foot garden. This is one of the first ones. All the square foots have been put in the others now, ready to go. And it won't be long before we're taking a few leaves off these to fill my lunchbox. Right, let's move into the fruit cage and see what a difference it's made in there with the supports. Well, this is something I've been trying to do for 2 or 3 years since I did my first raspberry canes, and I'm quite pleased with it. We've kept these down low, and all it's cost me is a few screws and the pegs. The pegs are about £1.50 tannalised, but well worth it. And I've even done these as well, using or utilising the fence posts, so that'll support the fence and stop that falling over for a while. And these are the weeds that I said I was having issues with because I wasn't keeping on top of keeping the edge clear. They snuck under the wood, look. so I need to get those out and dig that dock out before it gets too big, so it doesn't affect that white currant. That's the white currant that we took from here, that we took a cutting off this one, and we just plonked 2 in the ground and one took, and as you can see now, they're coming good. Still getting odd volunteers of raspberries in here, we just pull those out. But no, I'm really chuffed with these. It won't be long before the raspberries are fruiting. Hopefully it'll be more controllable this year. Really pleased I got this job done, and I'm utilising the washers. I've had to buy some washers, but they're reusable, galvanised, should last a long time for taking down and putting back again. A quick look at the carrots before we move over to plot 1. Those 2 have done reasonably well. There's not so, I've put quite a few seeds in here, but these haven't germinated so well. So again, they're all numbered, look, so I know which ones are which. We'll just put more seeds in next time. But if we get more space you give your vegetables, the bigger the vegetable will get. So hopefully that will be good. And I can always thin these out here at a later date. These are my storage bins. I've topped them all up right to the top. We're getting down my homemade 12-month compost. So that's what's come out the containers from 2021, and we've still got some leaf mould left in there. It's a great addition to any soil compost mix. Good water retention. Hello, Mr. Fly. So we managed to do this row as well. These are summer fruiting as well because they didn't fruit last year, and I've took all the yellow raspberries out of here because it got too close. They were moving and spreading, and I've split them all and given them a good watering in during the month of May 2022, and they should do okay. They split very easy. If you was to dig that out, you'd probably get 5-6 plants out of that, good plants. I've done a temporary fix on the manure bins. Well, we call them manure bins. They're not going to be called manure bins for much longer, but at least any water now will be caught. They're sheets on the left hand side, one that flipped over has badly damaged the plastic, but we'll catch some rainwater and it'll keep these bins topped up, but at least that job's out of the way. Alan from the Dawn Chorus plot suggested I use those 25 litre square pots that we got found in a cannabis compost dump, and I've worked out that's what we've got. And Alan says I'd be good to have 2 peppers in each, and I'm washing the wicks. That's ready then for putting into the wick guttering system, which is in one of my playlists. 4 1-ton bags of leaves. They haven't actually got 1 tons in them, but as you can see, the stuff's growing really wet, moist, and I reckon I can get another bag full in there. So I'm going to need this area here very soon to make my homemade compost again, and we can use the bagged leaves to hold everything down. I've cleared around the comfrey to give that a little bit of light and space. The same with the Bocking 14 comfrey, just cleared all the old out, and we'll let that grow. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 new plants there. Could have done with spacing a bit more, but if these don't come good this year, then they'll be out, and we'll spread those out a little bit more. There's some of last year's raspberry canes that we cut down over Christmas. They make good pea supports once dried out. The raspberries in the boxes are doing well. I do keep taking off any damaged leaves or brown leaves just to make them look a little bit fresher. And the daffodils that we planted, I planted them in the pots because I want to split the bulbs and then I can plant those in our front garden. I think it'll make a lovely display. So we get down to the compost that we found in February. We've made a start. Oh, we've done really well considering. So most of that's now in this manure bin. We're supposed to be putting manure in here and collecting the runoff, but I've got nearly 2,000 litres of this compost with the perlite in, and I think that's a better option to store it. And here's some of the empty pots now from the cocoa koi, and that's ended up on this side. So there's no HP source for me this time, Jason and Colleen, but again, it's a good resource to have. And if I have to fill this bin up with cocoa koi instead of manure, which I can get well rotted manure anyway, this is going to be the best option for me. We found some polycarbonate this month, some pallet collars, the sink, and we're going to get that sorted. Found another wheelbarrow. I always ask, but there's not going to be much salvageable on that. We've got another lot of compost there which I need to total up for March. We found those 2 pots and then this dump afterwards. It's all got the perlite in, and all the tulips are coming through, and looks like we've got one with a head there, so that will look nice at the beginning of April. Have a quick look at the gloves. And this is the new wheelbarrow we found that had got a blowout, so all I need to do is fix the wheel and then it's all ready to use. As you can see, it's just blew off the rim, so we'll undo the valve and I'll stick it on a metal rim. Another bargain. Gardening on a budget. If I collect enough wheelbarrows, I'll get enough bits. So just in time, I've got all this space cleared now. I do let these bags dry out, shake some of the compost off, and then they all go in there. There's 20 odd bags, 1 ton bags in there. Just keeps them out of the sun so they don't deteriorate. Yes, they were for free, but we need to look after them. 2 more bags to go. All the little bags are in there. Please remember, thumbs up, thumbs down for the interaction. Please leave me a comment and consider subscribing if you wish. If not, we'll see you again another time. Happy gardening to you all. Till next time, my friends. Ta-ra for now.